The space station hung quietly above the blue and green planet of Valtor Prime, a gleaming monument of human engineering. Its metal frame sparkled under the distant sun, and the hum of energy fields and machinery filled the corridors. Lieutenant Alex Carter strode down one of these corridors, his boots clanging softly against the polished floor. His mind was focused as always on duty. Another briefing, another mission, another chance to prove that humans could stand strong in the vast universe. Alex had grown used to life aboard the station. It was cramped and the air recycled endlessly, but it was home in its own way. He passed the observation deck, glancing at the stars. Humans had come a long way from their small blue planet. They had built colonies, explored new systems, and even made contact with alien civilizations. The Glacian Empire was one of them, a race of beings elegant and intelligent with silver blue skin, tall frames, and eyes that glowed softly in the dark. Alex had never met one in person. He only knew them through reports and occasional diplomatic meetings. He entered his quarters, a simple room with a bed, a small desk, and a view of the planet below. Alex preferred simplicity. Too much decoration distracted him, and he liked to keep his focus sharp. He took a seat at the desk, reviewing the mission plans, when suddenly the airlock hissed. A soft chime followed, indicating someone had entered. Alex frowned. He hadn't expected anyone. He stood up, his hand instinctively moving toward the sidearm at his belt. "Who's there?" he asked. A soft voice answered, slightly unsure. Hello, is anyone here?" Alex blinked. The voice sounded delicate, almost musical. He stepped toward the source, peering into the room, and froze. A figure floated in the doorway, bathed in the glow of the corridor lights. She was tall, slender, and her silver blue skin shimmered faintly. Her hair flowed like liquid silver, and her eyes glowed a gentle blue. She wore elegant clothing that looked both ceremonial and practical, adorned with strange symbols Alex had never seen. She looked around nervously, clearly realizing she was somewhere she shouldn't be. Alex's mouth went dry. He had expected many things in space, but an alien princess accidentally entering his room was not one of them. I'm sorry," the figure said, her voice polite and soft. "I thought this was a public area." Alex swallowed and forced himself to stay calm. You're not supposed to be here," he said slowly. "This is my private quarters." The alien blinked, tilting her head in a gesture almost human, though slightly more graceful. "Private quarters? I did not know. I apologize." Alex nodded, his curiosity now overtaking his surprise. "Who are you?" She hesitated, then spoke carefully. "I am Princess Leora of the Glacian Empire." Alex's eyes widened. A real princess, a real alien royal, right here, in his room. And she seemed harmless, not threatening at all, though the situation was extraordinary. You're a princess," he said, trying to sound calm. "From the Glacian Empire?" "Yes," Leora replied, her voice steady despite the awkwardness. "I am here on a diplomatic visit, but I must have taken a wrong turn." Her gaze shifted nervously to the objects in his room, the small collection of books, a hollow display showing star maps, a model of a human spacecraft. Her glowing eyes reflected curiosity. "Your station? It is fascinating. Humans have done remarkable things." Alex felt a flush of pride. "Thank you. We try." He paused, glancing at her again. "You shouldn't be wandering alone. It's dangerous." Leora's ears, small, pointed structures that peeked through her hair, tensed slightly. "Dangerous? Oh, I did not realize. I only wanted to see the station from different angles, to understand humans better." Alex took a deep breath. His training told him to secure the situation. His mind raced with thoughts. A princess, alone in his quarters. He could call security, but he noticed something in her expression. Curiosity, not malice. Hesitation, not hostility. "You need to be careful," he said finally. "Station security would not be happy to find you wandering around. They could overreact." Leora's eyes widened slightly. "Overreact? I do not want trouble." She stepped further into the room, though cautiously. "I only wanted to learn. Humans are so different from my people. You are strong, resourceful." Alex blinked. No one had ever described him like that before. Not so directly. And yet the words felt true. He had been trained to survive, to solve problems under pressure, to protect his team. And now he was standing before a living legend of another species, so, he said, keeping his voice calm, "You're exploring the station." "Alone?" Leora nodded, her hands clasped in front of her. "Yes, I wanted to see your technology, your way of life. But I misjudged my path. I entered your room by accident." Alex allowed himself a small smile. "Accidents happen." He paused, then added, half joking, "Though this is one of the more unusual accidents I've seen." Leora tilted her head, a small smile touching her lips. "I imagine so. Your species, you are fascinating. And your quarters, simple but efficient. I can see why you humans value practicality." Alex felt a strange mix of amusement and nervousness. He hadn't expected to be complimented by an alien princess today. He motioned to a chair. "Sit if you like. We'll talk, I suppose. Though we should be careful about security." Leora floated lightly to the chair, her movement graceful, almost weightless. "Thank you. I do not often speak so freely with humans, usually. There are many rules, formalities, protocols." Alex nodded. "I get that. Rules exist for a reason. But sometimes they make things harder. Especially for someone like you." There was a pause. Alex watched her, noticing small details. Her glowing eyes that changed shade slightly with emotion. The faint hum of her attire as if it contained some energy source. "The elegance in every movement, you humans," she said quietly. "You are brave, even in small acts. You value loyalty and effort. I did not understand fully until now." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. Humans were often underestimated in the universe. Other species saw them as primitive, weak, or reckless. Yet here was a princess, noting qualities that humans themselves sometimes overlooked. He straightened. "We do what we must, we adapt. We survive. It's who we are." Leora nodded slowly. "I see that, and I respect it." The moment was interrupted by the distant sound of the airlock alarm. A soft voice came over the station intercom. "Attention, unauthorized presence detected. Security teams en route. All personnel remain calm." Alex tensed. "That's a now. Security will be here soon. You shouldn't be seen wandering like this." Leora's eyes widened. "Security? Oh, I must leave then?" Alex considered it. Calling security would be the safe choice, but he could tell Leora didn't belong in danger. She wasn't a threat. And yet the station wasn't safe for her alone. "Stay calm," he said firmly. "I can help you. We need to avoid the patrols until we figure this out." Leora hesitated. Then with a quiet determination, she nodded. "I trust you, human." Alex felt a small jolt of surprise. Trust from an alien princess? That was rare. "All right," he said. "Follow me and stay quiet." Together they moved toward the service corridors. Alex led the way, using his knowledge of the station's layout to avoid patrols. Leora floated lightly behind him, fascinated by every detail. Pipes, vents, access panels, even the strange scent of recycled air. "You humans. You make so much use of small spaces," she whispered. "Efficient, yet you live so closely with your machines." Alex smiled faintly. "We have to. Space is precious. And we learn to work with what we have." Leora nodded slowly. "I like that. It is admirable." As they moved deeper into the corridor, Alex couldn't help but feel a strange sense of excitement. The universe was vast, full of dangers and wonders, but at this moment, standing beside a princess of another species, he felt alive. For both of them, this accidental meeting would mark the beginning of something far greater than either could imagine. But neither knew it yet. The distant hum of the station continued, lights reflecting off the metal walls. Two unlikely companions, human and Glacian, moved through the shadows together, unaware of the adventures that lay ahead. And for the first time, Alex wondered if a simple mistake, an accidental entry into a room, might change not only his life, but the future of humans and aliens across the stars. Alex led Princess Leora down the narrow service corridors, moving quickly but carefully. The hum of the space station surrounded them, mechanical noises and the occasional soft vibration of engines passing through the walls. Every step Alex took was precise. He knew the layout like the back of his hand, and he used every shadow, corner, and vent to stay out of view. Leora floated slightly above the floor, her eyes wide with curiosity. She studied every panel, every control box, every small detail. Her glowing hands occasionally brushed the walls as if feeling the energy flowing through the station. Alex kept glancing at her, amazed at how unlike any creature he had ever seen she was. Elegant, intelligent, and surprisingly strong for someone so delicate-looking. You humans, she said softly. You work hard. Even in places hidden from view, everything has a purpose. Alex smirked. We try to make things efficient. Space is expensive and mistakes can cost lives. Leora nodded. I understand. On my planet, even royalty must learn. Careful planning. But you humans, your courage is impressive, Alex shrugged. We do what we must. Survival comes first. Everything else comes second. They had just turned a corner when a soft metallic clang echoed through the corridor. Alex froze. Leora's glowing eyes darted toward the sound. We're not alone, Alex whispered. Leora's small hands moved to her sides and a faint energy shimmer surrounded her palms. Alex noticed it, a subtle glow almost like heat shimmering above a fire. He had heard stories of Glacian's powers, but seeing it in action was different. Who are they? She asked quietly. Trouble, Alex said grimly. Rogue mercenaries. They're trying to get to you. I suspected something was wrong when I saw the security alerts. Leora's brow furrowed. Mercenaries? Why, want me? Alex gave a short, sharp glance at her. You're royalty. Valuable royalty. There are always people who want power or money. Leora's glowing eyes widened. I did not realize. Humans face danger. Like this. Alex shook his head. You'll see. The universe isn't always kind. That's why we fight. That's why we survive. Another soft clang echoed nearby. Alex moved closer to the wall, motioning for Leora to follow. He pressed a small button on the corridor panel. A hidden maintenance door slid open silently. Quick, he whispered. Through here. Leora nodded, floating carefully as Alex led the way. The door closed behind them, hiding them in a narrow service tunnel. They moved in silence for a few moments. Leora's glowing hands traced the walls, absorbing details of the station. Alex noticed the slight hum of her energy, sensing her nervousness but also her focus. You are very skilled, Leora said softly, breaking the silence. You know this station? Every corner, Alex smirked. I've spent years here. You get used to every vent, every hatch, every corner. It helps in situations like this. Leora's eyes sparkled. I always admire humans' ability to adapt. On my world, power often comes from strength or wealth. Here, you rely on skill, courage, intelligence. I respect that. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. Most of the time, humans were underestimated by other species. But here was a princess noticing what truly mattered. Thanks, he said. But it's not over yet. We need to keep moving. They reached another junction when Alex stopped suddenly. A shadow moved across the far corridor. Two figures dressed in dark armor moved quickly, scanning the area. Alex recognized them immediately. Mercenaries. They've found us, he whispered. We need to think fast. Leora's eyes glowed brighter, her hands trembling slightly as energy radiated from her palms. I can help, she said. But I do not. Fight like humans, Alex nodded. We don't have time for doubts. We improvise. Stick close to me and do exactly what I say. He peeked around the corner, analyzing the path. The mercenaries moved slowly but deliberately, covering the main corridor. Alex noticed a maintenance hatch above them. Up there, he whispered, pointing. You can float. Go through that hatch. It'll lead to the ventilation shafts. I'll create a distraction. Leora nodded, floating carefully toward the hatch. Alex drew his sidearm, aiming carefully. He fired a small stun flare toward the opposite corridor, causing the mercenaries to turn. The sudden light startled them, giving Leora enough time to slip into the vent. Alex followed quickly, closing the vent panel behind him. Inside, the air was tight and warm but safe. Leora floated gracefully, her glowing eyes illuminating the narrow shaft. This is strange, she whispered. Your species. How do you move so quietly? And I feel your presence. Calm, focused. You are remarkable, Alex smirked. I've had a lot of practice. You'll get used to it. They moved through the vents for several minutes, carefully navigating turns and narrow passages. Leora occasionally touched the walls, her energy brushing the metal surfaces. Alex noticed her fascination with human technology, the way she seemed to absorb every detail. You humans. You have clever minds, she said softly. Even in danger, you think clearly. On my planet, we rely on advisors, orders, hierarchy. But you humans, you act, you adapt. Alex glanced at her. We survive. That's all it is. Eventually, they reached a junction leading to a maintenance bay. Alex opened the hatch quietly and they slipped out. The bay was empty, filled with crates and tools, the hum of machinery filling the space. "We need a plan," Alex said, crouching behind a crate. "They'll search the station. We can't just run. We need to find a secure location, somewhere they won't expect us." Leora nodded, her glowing hands pulsing slightly. "I can sense energy flows. I can guide us. Avoid detection. If you trust me," Alex studied her. Trusting a stranger, an alien princess, was risky, but he had no choice. She had abilities humans did not understand, and they needed every advantage. "All right," he said finally. "Lead the way." Leora floated ahead, her energy pulsing softly as she traced the hidden currents of power in the station. Alex followed closely, amazed at how she seemed to see the safest paths, avoiding areas likely to be patrolled. As they moved, Alex asked cautiously, "Why were you wandering the station alone? Aren't you supposed to have guards?" Leora's glowing eyes dimmed slightly, a hint of sadness in them. "I wanted to learn, to understand humans, to see your technology, your ways, without the rules, without the formality. I did not intend danger. I wanted knowledge." Alex nodded slowly. He understood curiosity. He had it himself. But in space, curiosity could be deadly. "Knowledge is good," he said. "But sometimes, rules exist for safety." Leora floated silently for a moment. "I see that now. And yet, your species, you are brave. You protect others even when danger comes. That is admirable." Alex felt a strange sense of pride. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy. But here was a princess recognizing the courage and ingenuity that he and his kind displayed every day. They finally reached a maintenance elevator, hidden behind a panel. Leora's hands glowed and the panel slid open smoothly. Alex pressed the controls and the elevator moved silently downward. "This should take us to a lower deck," Alex whispered. "Fewer patrols, less chance of detection. But we still need to be careful." Leora nodded, floating close. "I trust you, human. I feel safe with you." Alex's chest tightened slightly. No one had ever said that to him before, especially not a princess from another world. "We'll get through this," he said firmly. Together. The elevator descended slowly, the lights dimming as they moved down. Outside, the station's vast machinery hummed and shifted, a reminder of the complex world they were trapped within. When the doors opened, they found themselves in a storage deck, filled with crates, tools, and small vehicles. Alex motioned for Leora to follow him behind a large container. "We can hide here for now," he whispered, "but we'll need to move soon. They'll start a wider search." Leora floated silently, observing the environment. "Your species. Even in hiding, you remain vigilant. That is remarkable." Alex gave a small grin. "We have to be. Otherwise, we don't survive." They spent a few quiet moments planning their next move. Alex noticed how Leora studied every crate, every corner, her glowing eyes analyzing every detail. He realized she was learning from him as much as he was learning from her. "We make a good team," Alex said softly. Leora's eyes brightened. "Yes, we complement each other. You, humans, you have courage and ingenuity. I have abilities. Together, we are stronger." Alex nodded. "Then let's stay that way. Until we get out of this." A soft rumble echoed through the deck. The mercenaries were close. Alex glanced at Leora. "Stay ready. We move on my signal." Leora floated beside him, her energy pulsing gently. "I am ready. Together, we will survive." The two of them, human and alien princess, crouched behind the crates, ready for whatever came next. Their accidental meeting had turned into an unexpected alliance. And in the vastness of space, their courage and cleverness would be tested more than either of them could imagine. The storage deck was quiet, but the tension was thick. Alex crouched behind a stack of metal crates, listening intently to the distant footsteps of the mercenaries. The station's low hum seemed louder now, filling every space with a nervous vibration. Leora floated beside him, her glowing hands illuminating the shadows. Her eyes flickered as she studied the surroundings, sensing the energy currents and calculating the safest path forward. Alex glanced at her, impressed. "You really can sense it, huh?" Leora nodded slightly. "Yes, I can feel disturbances in energy, hear vibrations in the station. They are close. We must move carefully." Alex took a deep breath. "All right, let's do this." He peeked around the crates. Two mercenaries were moving cautiously, their armor clanking softly. They scanned the area, weapons raised, looking for any sign of the princess. Alex gestured to Leora, pointing toward a service hatch on the far side of the deck. "Go through that hatch," he whispered. "I'll distract them. When they move, follow quickly." Leora nodded, her glowing hands pulsing as she prepared to move. She floated silently, her movements elegant and precise as she slipped toward the hatch. Alex took a deep breath and rolled out from behind the crates, firing a small flare toward the ceiling. The bright light startled the mercenaries, forcing them to cover their eyes. "Now!" Alex shouted, diving toward a shadowed corner. Leora slipped through the hatch with barely a sound. Alex followed closely, closing the panel behind him. They moved through the narrow maintenance shafts, twisting and turning until the mercenaries' voices faded behind them. Alex's heart pounded in his chest, but he forced himself to stay calm. Leora floated beside him, her glowing eyes scanning every corner. "You humans," she said softly. "Even when facing danger, you remain composed." "I admire that," Alex smiled faintly. "We have to. Panic doesn't help anyone, and we survive better when we stay focused." After several minutes, they reached a ladder leading to a lower deck. Alex tested it carefully. "This should take us closer to the shuttle bay. Fewer patrols, hopefully." Leora's eyes flickered with curiosity. "A shuttle. Humans travel so far, using small ships. Fascinating." Alex chuckled. "We do our best. You'd be surprised how far humans can go with a little ingenuity." They climbed down and emerged into a dimly lit maintenance corridor. The walls were lined with pipes and conduits, casting long shadows across the floor. Alex motioned for Leora to follow closely. "We're not safe yet," he whispered. "They'll search the station thoroughly. We need to move fast." Leora's glowing hands pulsed as she floated beside him. I am ready." "Together, we can face them." Alex felt a surge of determination. "Yes, together." Suddenly, a sharp noise echoed from the corridor ahead. Alex froze, signaling for Leora to stay quiet. 2 mercenaries appeared, moving cautiously with weapons raised. Alex's mind raced. "They were trapped. Stay close," he whispered. "We need to use the environment. Follow my lead." He noticed a loose panel on the wall. With a quick motion, he yanked it open, exposing a tangle of wires and energy conduits. "Stand back," he said. Leora moved behind him, glowing hands ready. Alex connected a wire to the station's small power line and fired a short burst of electricity toward the floor near the approaching mercenaries. Sparks flew and the floor hummed with sudden energy. The mercenaries shouted, startled by the unexpected hazard. "Go!" Alex shouted. He grabbed Leora's hand and they sprinted down a side corridor, narrowly avoiding the surprised attackers. Leora's eyes glowed brighter as she used her energy to disable a security door blocking their path. Alex stared in awe. "Impressive," she smiled faintly. "I must protect myself. And you." Alex nodded, realizing how much they depended on each other. They turned a corner and entered a small maintenance room. The door closed behind them with a soft hiss. "We can rest here for a moment," Alex said, crouching behind a crate. "But we have to plan our next move. They'll regroup soon." Leora floated silently, observing the room. "Your species, even in hiding you remain vigilant." "That is remarkable," Alex shrugged. "We have to be, otherwise we don't survive." They spent a few minutes gathering their thoughts. Leora studied the room, her glowing hands tracing the edges of the walls, absorbing details about the station's structure. Alex, meanwhile, checked his sidearm and equipment, making sure everything was ready. "We need a plan," Alex said finally. "We can't keep running forever. We need to fight smart, not just fast." Leora nodded. "I can sense energy flows. I can guide us. Avoid detection. If you trust me," Alex considered it. Trusting a stranger, an alien princess, was risky, but he had no choice. She had abilities humans did not understand, and they needed every advantage. "All right," he said finally. "Lead the way." Leora floated ahead, her energy pulsing softly as she traced the hidden currents of power in the station. Alex followed closely, amazed at how she seemed to see the safest paths, avoiding areas likely to be patrolled. As they moved, Alex asked cautiously, "Why were you wandering the station alone?" "Aren't you supposed to have guards?" Leora's glowing eyes dimmed slightly, a hint of sadness in them. "I wanted to learn, to understand humans, to see your technology, your ways, without the rules, without the formality. I did not intend danger, I wanted knowledge." Alex nodded slowly. He understood curiosity, he had it himself. But in space, curiosity could be deadly. Knowledge is good, he said. But sometimes, rules exist for safety. Leora floated silently for a moment. I see that now. And yet, your species. You are brave. You protect others even when danger comes. That is admirable. Alex felt a strange sense of pride. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy. But here was a princess recognizing the courage and ingenuity that he and his kind displayed every day. Suddenly, a deep rumble shook the corridor. The station lights flickered. Alex's eyes narrowed. That's not the mercenaries, he muttered. Leora's glowing hands flared. Something more powerful. I can feel it. The ceiling above them trembled. Panels rattled, and the hum of machinery grew louder, distorted. From the shadows, large figures emerged, heavily armored drones, their designs alien and menacing. They moved with precise coordination, scanning for targets. Alex whispered sharply, "Drones. They've been deployed by someone else, or something else. We have no time to fight them head-on." Leora's eyes glowed intensely. "I can slow them. If you create a path," Alex's mind raced. "Okay, follow my lead." He spotted a narrow maintenance hatch leading to a service platform above the corridor. "Up there!" he shouted. He grabbed Leora's hand and they sprinted toward the hatch. Sparks flew from the floor as the drones fired, narrowly missing them. Leora's energy pulsed, forming a subtle barrier that deflected some of the attacks. They reached the hatch, climbing quickly onto the service platform. The drones followed, but Alex had prepared a trap. He tossed a small device onto the platform, a human-made energy disruptor. It activated with a soft hum, sending a wave of energy that temporarily disabled the drones. "They won't stay down long," Alex said, breathing heavily. "But it gives us time." Leora nodded, floating gracefully above the platform. "We can survive together. You, humans, you fight with cleverness. I admire that." Alex glanced at her. "We fight because we have to. And we fight for each other." For a moment, they stood side by side, human and alien princess, ready for whatever came next. The station's lights flickered, shadows danced across the walls, and the distant hum of engines reminded them of the vast universe beyond. Their alliance, born from an accident, had turned into something stronger. Together, they were more than human and alien. They were a team, capable of surviving dangers that neither could face alone. And deep inside, both of them realized that this was only the beginning. The real threats were yet to come. The air in the maintenance corridor was tense and electric. Sparks flickered from exposed wiring as Alex crouched behind a large crate, catching his breath. Leora hovered beside him, her glowing hands pulsing softly as she scanned the area. Outside, the hum of the station's machinery mingled with distant alarms, warning of both the mercenaries and the drones still searching for them. Alex whispered, "We can't stay here. We need a way out. The shuttle bay is our best chance." Leora tilted her head, eyes glowing faintly. I can sense a path. Fewer guards, hidden routes. But it will be dangerous," Alex nodded. "Dangerous is our middle name. Let's move." They slipped from behind the crate, moving carefully along the shadows. Leora floated just above the ground, her movements graceful and silent. Alex followed, stepping lightly, his eyes scanning every corner for threats. The mercenaries had regrouped, and the drones were patrolling in unpredictable patterns. One wrong step could alert them. As they turned a corner, Alex spotted a narrow shaft partially concealed by crates. He pointed to it. "Through there, quick!" Leora's glowing hands flared as she prepared to lift a small crate blocking the entrance. "I can help." She hovered over it, and with a soft pulse of energy, the crate moved aside silently. "Nice," Alex whispered, impressed. "You're full of surprises." Leora smiled faintly. "I must protect you as well." "It is necessary." They slipped into the shaft, moving cautiously. The space was tight, but it led to a secondary maintenance deck closer to the shuttle bay. Alex felt a surge of hope. They might actually make it out. Suddenly, the hum of the station shifted. Alex froze. "They know we're here." "Mercenaries and drones." "Both." Leora's eyes flared. "I can delay them if you create a diversion." Alex scanned the area quickly. A power conduit ran along the wall, its energy crackling. "I have an idea," he said. He grabbed a small energy disruptor from his belt and attached it to the conduit. Sparks flew as he activated it. A wave of electrical interference surged through the deck, causing lights to flicker and machinery to spark. The drones stopped momentarily, confused by the energy wave. The mercenaries shouted in frustration, searching for the source. "Now!" Alex shouted. He grabbed Leora's hand and they sprinted down a side corridor. The mercenaries and drones scrambled after them, delayed but not defeated. They reached another junction. Alex's mind raced. "We need to split them up. Leora, can you create a false energy signature?" Leora's glowing hands pulsed brighter. "Yes, I can imitate my presence elsewhere." Briefly, Alex nodded. "Do it," she focused, sending a shimmering energy signal down a side corridor. The drones detected it and veered toward it, chasing the false trail. The mercenaries followed, unsure which path to take. "Good work," Alex said quietly. "That gives us time to reach the shuttle bay." They ran, turning corners and sliding through narrow corridors. Leora floated gracefully, her energy illuminating the way. Alex followed, his training keeping him alert for traps and hazards. Every step brought them closer to the shuttle bay and closer to freedom. At last, they reached a reinforced door leading to the bay. Alex examined the control panel. Locked, of course, but I can override it. He pressed a sequence of buttons and the door slid open with a hiss. Beyond it, the shuttle bay stretched out, dimly lit and filled with small human spacecraft. One shuttle in particular caught his eye, a fast maneuverable vessel with room for two. "That one," Alex said, pointing. "We can use it." Leora floated beside him, her glowing eyes scanning the bay. "Ira sent some patrols." "Approaching." "We must be quick," Alex nodded. "No problem. Let's move." They sprinted across the bay, weaving between parked shuttles and crates. Mercenaries and drones could be heard in the distance, their metallic footsteps echoing through the station. Alex reached the shuttle first and quickly opened the cockpit. "Go!" he shouted. Leora climbed in beside him, her energy pulsing softly. "Are you ready?" Alex grinned. "As ready as I'll ever be." He activated the controls, the shuttle humming to life. Lights flickered on, systems checked, engines warming. Outside, the station's alarms continued to blare, signaling the intrusion. Alex ignored them. Survival depended on speed and focus. As they lifted off, the mercenaries arrived at the bay entrance. One shouted in frustration, aiming a weapon at the escaping shuttle. Alex maneuvered quickly, weaving between crates and using the shuttle's speed to dodge incoming fire. Leora's energy pulsed, creating subtle shields that deflected some of the attacks. "Nice reflexes," Leora said, her voice calm despite the danger. Alex smirked. "We make a good team." They reached the edge of the station and Alex pushed the shuttle to full speed. The blue and green planet of Valtor Prime spread below them, beautiful and serene compared to the chaos they had left behind. "Almost there," Alex muttered. "Just a little further." Leora floated beside him, glowing hands tracing the control panel. "You humans, you combine courage and cleverness. I admire that." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. "We survive because we have to. But sometimes, we also survive for others." The shuttle bay's automated defenses activated, firing energy barriers at the fleeing shuttle. Alex twisted the controls, dodging with precision. Leora's energy shield flared, absorbing some of the impact. Sparks flew, but the shuttle continued its ascent. Outside the station, they entered the vastness of space. Stars stretched endlessly around them, distant suns twinkling in the dark. Alex exhaled, finally allowing himself a brief moment of relief. "We made it," he said, glancing at Leora. She smiled, her glowing eyes softening. "Yes, we survived together," Alex nodded. "That was too close. But we did it." Leora's gaze drifted toward the stars. "Your species, humans, you are remarkable. Even when outmatched, you do not give up. You adapt. You fight with your minds, your courage, your hearts." Alex felt a surge of pride. Humans were often underestimated across the galaxy, but here was a princess, recognizing what truly mattered: strength, courage, and ingenuity. "We're not out of danger yet," Alex said cautiously, "but at least we have a chance now." Leora floated beside him, her energy dimming slightly as she relaxed. "I trust you, human. I'm grateful." Alex smiled faintly. "We survive because we have to. And sometimes, it's better when we survive together." For the first time, both of them allowed themselves to feel a sense of relief. The shuttle moved through the quiet of space, leaving the danger of the station behind. They were free for now, but the universe was vast and threats could appear anywhere. Leora turned to Alex. "You, humans, are capable of amazing things. I'm honored to witness it. Alex glanced at her, noticing the subtle glow of admiration in her eyes. And I'm honored to have your trust. That's not something I get often. The shuttle glided through the void, engines humming softly. Outside, stars stretched endlessly, and below, the planet's surface shone like a jewel. Alex and Leora, human and alien princess, had survived against the odds. Their accidental meeting had turned into an alliance, and now together, they faced the unknown. Alex felt a strange sense of anticipation. The real adventure wasn't over. It was just beginning. Leora floated beside him, calm and graceful, her glowing eyes reflecting the stars. We will face what comes together. Alex nodded. Yes, together. And with that, the shuttle sped into the depths of space, leaving behind the danger of the station and moving toward new challenges, new discoveries, and the promise of a bond stronger than either had ever imagined. The small shuttle glided silently through the stars, leaving the chaos of the space station behind. Inside, Alex Carter and Princess Leora finally had a moment to breathe. The hum of the engines and the gentle vibration of the shuttle filled the cabin, creating a calm rhythm after the frantic escape. Leora floated near the control panel, her glowing eyes scanning the star-filled void. Alex sat beside her, tired but alert, his fingers lightly tapping on the shuttle's console. For a moment, they simply watched the stars pass by, reflecting on the dangers they had overcome together. You humans, Leora said softly, breaking the silence. Even when facing overwhelming odds, you do not give up. You think, you plan, and you act with courage. I admire that greatly. Alex smiled faintly. We do what we must. Survival isn't easy in the universe. Sometimes, you have to fight with everything you have. But having someone by your side, it makes a difference. Leora's glowing eyes softened. I am glad you were there. I would not have survived alone. Alex felt a strange warmth at her words. Few people ever admitted their dependence on him, and even fewer showed trust so openly. We survived together, he said quietly. That's what matters. The shuttle's sensors picked up a nearby planet, neutral in affiliation and safe from immediate threats. Alex guided the ship toward it, preparing for a controlled landing. Leora assisted, her energy subtly enhancing the shuttle's systems, smoothing the turbulence as they descended through the atmosphere. The planet's surface came into view, a lush world, covered with forests, rivers, and scattered settlements. The shuttle landed smoothly in a clearing near a small outpost. The air was breathable, fresh and fragrant, a stark contrast to the recycled atmosphere of the space station. Once they stepped outside, the calm of the planet was almost surreal. The sunlight reflected off the leaves, and the gentle wind carried the scent of wildflowers. Alex took a deep breath. Finally, somewhere safe. Leora floated beside him, her silver-blue skin glowing softly in the sunlight. It is beautiful, peaceful. I am glad we arrived here. Alex nodded. We need to contact station authorities and inform them of the mercenaries. That way, others won't be in danger. Leora's glowing eyes narrowed thoughtfully. Yes, we must ensure safety, but also, we must plan for the future. Humans, your species, you are capable. I see potential for friendship, alliance, trust. Alex looked at her, intrigued. An alliance? Between humans and the Glacian Empire? Leora nodded slowly. Yes, humans. You are brave, clever, and loyal. I respect that. My people. We can learn from you, and we can protect each other. Alex felt a surge of pride. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy, seen as primitive or weak. Yet here was a princess, recognizing their strengths and seeing potential for partnership. Then, let's make it happen, he said. Leora smiled faintly. I will speak to my people. But for now, we recover. Together. They spent the next few hours assessing the shuttle, ensuring it was undamaged. Leora's glowing hands hovered over the controls, interfacing with the systems in ways Alex didn't fully understand but admired. She had saved them more than once during the escape, and her abilities combined with his human ingenuity had proven to be a perfect team. As the sun began to set over the horizon, painting the sky with shades of orange and purple, Alex and Leora walked toward a small outpost. Local inhabitants greeted them cautiously, but after seeing Leora's gentle demeanor and Alex's calm presence, they relaxed. Inside the outpost, they found communication equipment and prepared a message to the station. Alex handled the technical aspects, while Leora observed and offered subtle enhancements using her energy abilities. Together, they sent detailed reports about the mercenaries, the rogue drones, and the events that had unfolded. That should alert them, Alex said, leaning back in his chair. Help is on the way. No one else should be in danger. Leora nodded. Good. Humans, you act quickly. You think not only for yourself but for others. I admire that quality. Alex chuckled softly. It's part of being human. We care about more than just survival. Sometimes about others too. There was a brief silence, comfortable and warm. Alex glanced at Leora. You trust humans now? Leora's glowing eyes met his. I trust you, and I believe humans are worthy of respect. I see courage, intelligence, and heart. Alex felt a strange but pleasant sensation. Few humans had ever received such admiration from other species, and even fewer had formed such strong bonds. Thank you, he said quietly. That means a lot. Leora floated slightly closer. You are not like the others. You are different, brave, clever, compassionate. I am grateful for your presence. Alex smiled, feeling a sense of pride and connection he had never felt before. We make a good team, he said softly. We do, Leora agreed, her eyes glowing warmly. And, together, we can face what comes. Humans, your species, has much to offer the universe. And I wish to learn from you and with you. The sun disappeared behind the distant mountains, leaving a sky full of stars. Alex and Leora stood side by side looking up at the cosmos. The universe was vast, filled with dangers, discoveries, and opportunities. But for the first time, they felt a shared sense of purpose. We survived a lot today, Alex said, and we'll survive more, I'm sure. Leora's energy pulsed gently. Yes, we face challenges, but together, we are stronger. Humans, you teach me courage, ingenuity, loyalty, and I hope to share wisdom, strength, guidance. Alex nodded. Then let's make the most of it. Together, we can face anything. Days passed as they remained on the neutral planet, recovering from their ordeal. Alex and Leora trained together, sharing skills and knowledge. She learned human tactics and ingenuity, while he studied the subtle energy techniques she could perform. Their bond grew stronger, based on trust, respect, and shared experience. Word of their escape and survival reached both human authorities and the Glacian Empire. Diplomatic channels opened, and negotiations began for a formal alliance. The two species, once distant and cautious, now had a reason to cooperate, strengthened by the courage, intelligence, and cooperation of a human soldier and an alien princess. One evening, as the stars shimmered above the planet's forests, Alex and Leora sat together on a hill overlooking a river. The wind carried the scent of wildflowers and the promise of new beginnings. You know, Alex said quietly, I never imagined my life would turn out like this. A human soldier, teaming up with an alien princess, escaping mercenaries, and surviving together. Leora smiled faintly, her glowing eyes reflecting the starlight. Life is full of surprises, and sometimes mistakes lead to great things. Alex laughed softly. Accidental meetings, dangerous situations, and turned into an alliance. Not bad for a day's work. Leora's energy pulsed gently. Yes, we have created something new. Trust, respect, partnership. Humans, your species, has much to offer. The universe. Alex looked at her thoughtfully. And you have shown me that there is more to the galaxy than I ever imagined. That courage, curiosity, and cooperation can build bonds stronger than we think. Leora nodded. Together, we can face the future. Humans, you teach me, and I learn from you. A new path begins. The night sky stretched endlessly above them, filled with stars, planets, and distant galaxies. Alex and Leora, human and alien princess, had survived impossible odds. They had formed a bond that went beyond species, beyond duty, and beyond fear. Their adventure was not over, but the first chapter had ended. They had proven that humans could stand strong in the universe, not just as survivors, but as allies, friends, and equals among the stars. Alex smiled at Leora. So, what comes next? She looked at him, glowing softly. Next, we explore. We learn. We protect. And we grow. Together. Alex nodded, feeling hope and determination fill him. The universe was vast, full of danger and discovery, but with Leora at his side, he knew they could face anything. And for the first time, he allowed himself to believe that humans and their courage, intelligence, and heart could truly make a difference across the stars. Together they watched the stars, ready for whatever the future held, knowing that an accidental meeting had created a partnership that would change not only their lives, but the fate of humans and aliens alike.